I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey friends, Brian Santos here back with AfterBuzz TV's Quarantine with the Stars. Today I am so excited to be sitting down with an incredibly talented young star. She's an actor, singer, and writer, known for her work in films like Harriet and Nickelodeon's All That. This is Aria Brooks. Hi Aria, thanks for being here.
No problem.
I am so excited. Let's just jump right in. I want to check in with you, see how you're doing. How are you doing right now with the current state of the world, and how are you feeling about everything going on?
Well, I think there are some good parts to it that we get to spend more time with our family and spend more time like with ourselves, I guess, as well. And during the quarantine, everything is not ideal right now, especially with everything that's happening in our world right now. So that is really sad, like as far as the Black Lives Matter movement. But I think that I'm glad that I'm closer to my family. I'm glad that I'm here. So it's a lot of mixed emotions right now.
That's good. Honestly, this I always say this is a perfect time for us to kind of be with family and kind of look introspectively because these are such crazy times, especially with quarantine. So speaking of quarantine, kind of how are you keeping busy? What are you doing to kind of keep sane in the house?
Well, playing board games with my family, we played a lot of games together, like had movie nights and stuff like that with ice cream. So
Fun.
because like I said, I want to spend a lot more time with them. And also I've been reading a lot more, which I'm really happy that I'm doing. So I've been getting into a few more books that I wasn't really reading. I didn't really have a lot of time to read before. Um, Being really creative right now. So writing more music and continuing to sing, and I've been making like parodies over the quarantine. So I've been like making parodies of songs and impressions of people and things like that. So just kind of channeling my creative side because I have a lot more time to do it right now.
I love that. I actually saw one of the parodies for Tabitha Brown on your Instagram, which was amazing. I loved it, and I love her. How did that come about?
Well, it was actually in a meeting. Nickelodeon provides a lot of like sources for us to get better on social media, especially right now. So I was in a meeting and we were just kind of throwing out ideas of things that I could do. And then I was like, what if I did a parody as Tabitha Brown? And I kind of put a bunch of stuff together to be outside of the box. And then I started writing, like the very same day, I started writing it and recorded it and came up with a music video concept. So it was kind of normally when I'm eager to finish something, I like do it right then, which is why it takes me so long to do chores. Eager to do something, I'm like on it fast. So
For sure. I love that. I know that you're like a really accomplished writer. You do your own music, you write, you produce. So how much fun do you have writing and getting to like get a hand in your music?
well, writing is a big part of life for me. I remember I wrote like a book when I was in second grade. I was in second grade.
Oh
It was
my gosh.
Made Me Run Away, I think. It was amazing, I guess. But that was a lot of fun. So ever since then, I've been writing stories and scripts, and it's like a way for me to get my emotions out. And like, because a lot of times, especially being like a public figure, I can't always be like as vulnerable and have emotions because I have to be other people's role model. So that's my way of letting those out, basically.
I love that so much. That's great. That's a perfect way to say it too, because sometimes our creativity needs to have an outlet. So I love that you use it with your music and your writing. So that's so fun. I want to talk about Harriet a little bit. There's been a lot of talk, especially with what's happening in the world right now, about movies that people should watch to kind of educate themselves. Would you say Harriet is one of those?
I think it's definitely one of those. I think Harriet was really powerful, and I think it showed the true story of Harriet Tubman, and it showed a little bit more than what they teach you at school. Like she saved all the slaves and they went north. It was like why she went back, what she did, more like how strong she was. So I think it's definitely a movie everyone should see during this time right now.
That's great. You're also starring on All That. You mentioned a little bit, which is so great. I'm sure you have a blast on that show. How much fun is it for you to film?
Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. So like every single character is so different from each other. So I love that I can play these different characters and I'm practicing versatility in the midst of all that. So it's like, oh, no pun intended. But midst of everything, I'm practicing versatility, which is going to come in handy later. And it's just really great playing all these really, really fun characters all the time, every day. And it's going to be great having conversations with people later. I was a horse one week
Oh my God.
And then the next week, Lord knows, it was so
Yeah, that's fun. When you're back to shooting, is there any sketches you have in mind or anything you like to do at first?
Well, I would like to bring back a lot of sketches that we have, like bring back one of my characters, Eureka. She was really, really funny, and she's actually based off of Erica Badu. So that was a really fun
Oh,
to do. I'd like to bring her back. I'd also like to bring my Rihanna character back, like I don't know, in a music video or something, maybe a parody, as you know, I love parodies. So bring her back. And then there are a few characters I have in mind, and I do a lot of writing, especially right now, like I mentioned before. So I'd love to pitch more of my characters and ideas to the writers as well.
I love that. You mentioned some of the writing you're doing for your music and for TV as well. What else are you doing in quarantine? I know you like to bake.
Yes, I love been baking and making things a whole lot lately. I remember we baked at least 5 things in the past like 2 weeks.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
like I made my first cake from scratch the other day.
Oh,
Not the other day, like 2 weeks ago maybe. I made an ice cream cake. My parents went to go vote, and me and my sisters were home alone, so we made some ice cream yesterday. So that was really fun. So it's been a lot lately.
I love that. I'm trying to bake more too, honestly. Sometimes I just get the box stuff and I'm just like, you know what, this is fun. Just throw it together and figure it out, right?
Yeah.
I love that. Let's talk about some of your music. I'm super excited. Like I said, in addition to being a busy actress, you're also writing. You've already released 2 singles that you wrote and produced. So, what inspires you the most to write music?
Well, like I mentioned before, it's like me getting out my emotions and how I feel. And I remember they were written maybe 3 years ago. That could be wrong, but it was definitely years ago. And I was just kind of writing for fun. It wasn't like I'm going to write this to release it and produce it and all these things. So I wrote it. And then I was also kind of experimenting with GarageBand around that time because I had met someone at an audition. He was using GarageBand and we were like making songs together. I was like, whoa, this is really cool. So I started learning it and I made like a beat myself. And then I realized that matches the song that I just wrote. So put two and two together. My parents were like, you wrote that? And then voila, that's what it was all fun. And then my parents were like, you should release this. Is really good. So it was mainly for fun.
That's amazing though. Like I feel like sometimes that's when the best things happen, when you kind of just throw things together, when you do things on a whim and it's like, oh my gosh, that's like so great. So love
Yeah.
that. Who are some of your musical inspirations?
So my musical inspirations, I look up to Melanie Martinez. I love her style and her music style and like her like appearance. It's really great. I love Zendaya, and even though she hasn't released any music in a while, I loved all of her music from a couple years ago. I love a lot of. I've been into a lot of like different types of music now, so I've been opening myself up instead of just like one genre. So I can tell it's kind of music is growing on me a lot more. So I've been listening to like Clairo because like a lot of alternative music is.
Mhm.
So just I'm still expanding my music palette a lot more so I can become more into more music. I hope that makes sense.
For sure. That's great. Honestly, I'm trying to do the same too in quarantine because we have so much more time to watch TV, watch films, listen to music. So we might as well find some new music to listen to. I love
Right.
that. It's been such a pleasure to have you, Aria. Before we head off here, what do you have next? What are you working on next? Like after you get back into quarantine?
Well, there are nothing set in stone yet, but I am working on a lot more parodies. So I've already like started working on my next one. As soon as the Tabitha Brown one dropped, I'm like, okay, let's work on the next one. So I'm working on a lot more content parodies, things like that. I am writing more music. So I had hoped to release an album this year, release more music this year. I'm just trying to get more content out and continue building my craft right now. So that's what I've mainly been doing. And one thing at the end of this month, I am going live and I'm doing like a concert. So I'm performing one of my original songs, some other songs. It's on June 27th on Instagram and Facebook. So I'm going to be doing that. And that's what I'm preparing for right now.
Amazing. I know you're on TikTok as well. How much fun is
Yes.
TikTok for you? Have you done any of the dance challenges?
I'm sure I've done them all by now. I'm always on TikTok.
I love it. Well, where can people find you on social media and your TikTok as well?
Well, all of my social media is at It's Aria Brooks. It's ARIA Brooks. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
I love that so much. Aria, before we head out of here, anything else you want to shout out to your fans, whether it be about the current situation, about what you're working on next, anything you want to say to them?
I think to everyone right now, specifically the POC community, I just want to say be yourself and love yourself. And I know times are hard right now. There's a lot going on in our world right now. It's just being yourself, loving yourself, staying true to who you are, and standing by what you believe in and how you feel, because your feelings are valid just as much as anyone else.
That is perfect. That's a perfect way for us to end. Again, Aria, thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm Brian Santos. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at the Brian Santos. This has been Quarantine with the Stars with Aria Brooks, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.